Welcome to my channel. Try to hear the latest story.
I overheard my girlfriend's conversation with her mom about why we weren't engaged. She said she wasn't ready to commit fully, hinting she might find someone better. I was coming up from the garage with groceries when I caught it all. I left the groceries and her apartment key on the counter. Turns out someone better did come along, her sister. This happened a year ago, and I'm only now calm enough to share without getting upset. Get ready, it's a crazy story. I'm 33, male, and was with Sarah, 30, for just over 3 years. We connected through friends at a local bar's grand opening. We clicked instantly. She was witty, driven, and had her life in order. I thought I'd hit the jackpot. We had our own places but spent most nights together, usually at her apartment since it was closer to our workplaces. I kept some essentials there, and she had a drawer at my place. We exchanged keys to each other's apartments. Not officially cohabiting, but pretty close. By last December, things were serious. We were practically living together, had met each other's families, and had discussed our future several times. I was planning to propose in the spring. Sarah's family lived an hour outside town. Her mom, Linda, was a bit nosy but kind to me. Her younger sister, Emily, 27, was laid back, loved the outdoors, and worked as a fitness coach. We'd chat at family events, but never spent time one-on-one. That weekend, we were at Sarah's mom's house for Linda's birthday. Sarah forgot some ingredients for the special dinner she wanted to cook, so I offered to grab them. It was snowing, and the nearest store was a 15-minute drive. I spent about 40 minutes gathering everything on Sarah's list, plus I picked up a bouquet for Linda's birthday. I returned, parked in the driveway, and walked in with 4 grocery bags. Their house has an odd layout. Enter through the garage, up a few steps to the kitchen, which opens directly into the living room. I was halfway up the stairs when I heard Linda's voice. "So, when's Tom going to pop the question? You've been together ages." I stopped, curious about Sarah's response. Not eavesdropping maliciously, just intrigued. "Mom, really? Not this again." "What? You're not getting younger, Sarah. He's a great guy. Steady job? Good with money. Treats you well." "Yeah, Tom's amazing." But then came the words that flipped my world. "I'm not ready to lock things in. What if someone better shows up? Tom's solid, but is he my forever person?" I stood frozen, grocery bags suddenly feeling like boulders. Linda replied, "That's a terrible mindset, Sarah. You can't string people along as fallback options." "I'm not saying he's a fallback. He's reliable, safe, but I sometimes wonder if there's more spark out there." That was it for me. I quietly placed the groceries on the kitchen counter, set the bouquet next to them with its little birthday note, and left my key to Sarah's apartment on the counter. Then I turned, walked back to my car, and drove to a hotel 20 minutes away. I didn't say a word, just left. My phone started buzzing 20 minutes later. Texts, then calls. "Where are you? Did you just leave the groceries? What's happening?" I sent one reply. "I heard what you said to your mom. We're over. I'll pick up my stuff from your place next week when you're at work." Then I silenced her notifications, ordered room service, sipped a bourbon, and tried to process. 3 years. 3 years with someone who saw me as a safe bet while waiting for a better option. No way. The next morning, I had 37 missed calls and a flood of texts. Sarah claimed I misunderstood, that she loved me, that she was just stressed by her mom's nagging. Every excuse imaginable. I ignored them all. I went back to my own apartment. Thankfully, I'd kept it despite spending most nights at Sarah's, and tried to clear my mind. The next day, I called her sister, Emily. "Hey, this is weird, but I need a favor. I overheard Sarah telling your mom she's keeping her options open in case someone better comes along. We're done. Can you let me know when she's at work next week, so I can grab my stuff?" Silence, then, "She actually said that? That's so dumb. She's at work Tuesday, 9 to 5. I can even help you get your things if you want." "That's really kind, Emily. Thanks. Look, I love Sarah, but that was awful. You don't deserve that." "Thanks, I appreciate it. For what it's worth, I think she's a fool." On Tuesday, I went to Sarah's apartment with a couple of friends to collect my belongings. Some clothes, gadgets, a few books. I left behind anything I'd given her as gifts. I'm not spiteful. As we were wrapping up, there was a knock. It was Emily. "Thought you might need a hand," she said. "Also wanted to see how you're holding up. Sarah's a wreck." Not my issue anymore, I said, packing. Fair enough. I'd have done the same. After we finished, she suggested lunch at a nearby diner. I paused but agreed. Why not? We talked for nearly 2 hours, not about Sarah, but about everything else. Books, hiking, the best burger spots. Felt effortless. At the end, Emily invited me to join her and her friends for a hike that weekend. I figured I needed to stay occupied, so I said yes. That hike led to another, then to rock climbing, then a music festival. Always in groups, no pressure, just enjoying each other's company. I had some hesitations about hanging out with my ex's sister. It wasn't exactly typical. But Emily and I always got along, and I started noticing new things about her. Her grit on tough trails, her kindness coaching beginners at the gym, her deep knowledge of obscure bands. We had more in common than I'd realized. Meanwhile, Sarah didn't let up. Showing up at my apartment, I had to ask building security to block her. Calling from random numbers, sending emails. Even Linda called once, which was incredibly awkward. Tom, she messed up. She loves you. She's heartbroken. Linda, respectfully, she wasn't mistaken. She said what she really felt when she thought I wasn't listening. That's who she is. People say dumb things they don't mean. I appreciate you calling, but this isn't up for debate. Take care. About 3 months after the breakup, Emily and I were grabbing coffee after a run when something clicked. I don't know how to describe it, but she wasn't just Sarah's sister anymore. She was Emily. Bold, honest, vibrant Emily. I must have been staring because she laughed. What? Do I have dirt on my face? No, Would it be strange if I asked you out? Like, a proper date? She thought for a second. Probably. Definitely for Sarah. But I'm okay with it if you are. We had a serious talk about what it could mean for her family ties with Sarah, Linda, the whole dynamic. But we both felt it was worth a shot. That Friday, we had our first real date. A nice restaurant, great conversation. That spark of something new yet familiar. As I walked her to her car, she said, "You know this'll stir up drama, right?" "Probably," I admitted. "Worth it, though." She grinned. "Totally worth it." We didn't hide our relationship but didn't broadcast it either. We just lived our lives. If Sarah found out, so be it. Took 3 weeks. My phone rang, Sarah's number. I'd unblocked her recently since her attempts to reach me had slowed. Against my instincts, I answered. "You're dating my sister?" "My sister." She was yelling so loud I held the phone away. "Nice to hear from you too, Sarah. How could you do this to me? It's been, what, a month? And you're with Emily?" "It's been over 3 months, Sarah. And yes, Emily and I are together. This is some pathetic revenge scheme. You're just trying to hurt me. Not everything revolves around you. Emily and I like each other's company. It's not about you. That's nonsense. You're using her to get back at me. Believe what you want. I don't owe you explanations anymore. Mom's furious. You're ripping our family apart. Again, not my problem. You should have thought about consequences before keeping me as a fallback while waiting for someone better." She started sobbing, saying she'd made a terrible mistake, that she wanted to marry me, that she'd been scared of commitment but realized too late what she had. For a moment I felt a pang, not regret, maybe nostalgia for what I thought we had. Faded fast. "Sarah, I'm hanging up. Don't call again. You're only with Emily to hurt me," she screamed as I ended the call. That evening I told Emily about it. She wasn't shocked. She called me too. Said I betrayed her, that I was always jealous of her. "You okay?" "Yeah." "Are you?" "Yeah." "Mom's upset, though. Says we're putting her in a tough spot. Do you want to stop this?" She looked me in the eyes. Not a chance. The next few months were hard for Emily. Her relationship with Sarah was ice cold, and Linda was stuck in the middle, trying to keep ties with both daughters. Family events were impossible. Emily skipped their usual Christmas gathering, spending it with me and my family instead. She stayed strong, but I knew it hurt. We talked a lot about whether our relationship was worth the family strain. She insisted it was, but I worried about the long-term toll. This was her only close family since their dad passed. I didn't want to permanently divide them. Here's the truth. I never aimed for revenge or planned to date Emily. It just happened. And sometimes the someone better isn't for the person expecting it. The irony isn't lost on me. Sarah kept her options open in case someone better came along for her. Instead, someone better came along for me. Life's strange like that. Update. 6 months later, 9 months since the grocery incident. And I thought I'd share an update since the story got so much attention. Emily and I are still together, and things are fantastic. Meeting through Sarah meant we skipped the usual getting to know you phase. We dove into deeper conversations from the start, which has been refreshing. The family situation has improved slowly. Linda started with one-on-one lunches with Emily, avoiding any mention of Sarah. Then she invited me to a few dinners. It was tense at first, but Linda eventually said, "I don't fully get how this happened, but you two are good together." Sarah stopped trying to contact us. Last we heard, she moved to Portland for a new job. Probably for the best, gives everyone space. Linda's fully on board now. At a recent family dinner, she pulled me aside and said, "Sometimes things don't go as planned, but they end up as they should." Wise words, when she's not pushing her daughters to settle down. The "am I dating Emily to spite Sarah" question still pops up, mostly from people who don't know the full story. The answer is always no. Did it start unconventionally? Sure. But what Emily and I have is its own thing, separate from the past. Some mutual friends sided with Sarah as expected. Our core friends, my old college crew, Emily's gym buddies, stuck by us. The couple friends we made with Sarah drifted away. That's just how it goes. Emily and I are planning a trip to Yosemite next month, her first time, my third. She's already mapped out every trail she wants to hike. Her zest for life is infectious. I ran into Sarah's old roommate at a cafe last week. She said Sarah saw us together on social media and commented, "They look genuinely happy." That's probably the closest to closure we'll get. So that's where things stand. Not a typical path to finding someone, but I'm grateful for how it turned out. Sometimes you go through the wrong relationship to find the right one. And sometimes the right one was closer than you thought. Final update. 1 year later, the 1-year mark felt like the right time for a final update. Emily and I moved in together last month. A big step, especially given our start, but it felt natural. We found a place halfway between our jobs, with a spare room for a home gym, her idea, and an office space, mine. Sarah's engaged. Unexpected, right? She met a tech guy in Portland and got engaged after 6 months. Linda showed us the announcement at dinner. Sarah looked happy, and I'm genuinely pleased for her. No bitterness here, just acceptance that we weren't meant to be. Family dynamics have settled. Holiday gatherings were awkward at first but are now just normal. Linda even jokes about finally getting me as a son-in-law, just through a different daughter. "Too soon, Linda," I said, laughing. Emily and I aren't rushing. We're enjoying building our life together, step by step. When you know, but you also know when to take it slow. Looking back at that moment on the stairs with the groceries, I still can't believe how fast everything changed. 1 minute, I was planning a future with someone who saw me as a placeholder. The next, I was walking away. It was the toughest and simplest choice I've ever made. I've reflected on what I'd do differently. Nothing. Not a thing. If I hadn't overheard that conversation, I might have proposed to Sarah, maybe spent years with someone always looking for something better. Instead, I found someone who looks at me and thinks, "This is exactly who I want." That grocery trip ended a relationship but saved me from a marriage built on uncertainty. And through all the chaos, it led me to where I was meant to be. Sometimes the best revenge isn't revenge. It's just living well.